Yo, so have you heard that Elmo touches little boys? Fact. Yeah, it's been kind of on the low. I'm shocked that people in the community and on Twitter and people haven't made funny videos about this yet. But if you guys have not been aware that charges were brought up against, or alleged charges are being brought up against the guy that has puppeted, he's I guess the puppeteer of Elmo. If you guys do not know who Elmo is, he's the giant red annoying cotton ball of death that has been on Sesame Street. It's probably been the most popular site and source for sales and excitement, whether Tickle Me Elmo and everything like that. He's probably, I'd say he'd account for about 75% of their sales and popularity. Elmo. I bet there's a handful of you guys that probably couldn't even name 2 or 3 other people inside of Sesame Street. And that's about how dominant Elmo is. And this guy, he went ahead and he was controlling not only the voice, but the actions of Elmo for the last 20 years. And he did, in fact, touch little boys. I know, kind of caught me off guard. Man's in a buffet line. He's sitting there, surrounds himself with young, impressionable kids, teenagers, and everything like this. And potentially over the last 20 years, he could have been, for the longest time, having sexual relations with teenagers or even younger. And that, to me, is the commentary topic of the day. We need to touch on that a little bit. Maybe a bad choice of words right there. But, in fact, that's really what we got to do. We got to muscle through it and talk a little bit about it. So I was checking this out today. I heard about this a couple weeks ago. I thought it was just bullshit, right? But Clash which is actually his name. He's been doing this for about 20 years. He's worked through Sesame Street. He's done the voice and all this stuff. And his name is Kevin Clash. 20 years he's been doing this. And apparently a while back, he was in a relationship with a 15-year-old boy. There was another guy that came out of the word work, and he ended up recanting. And then there's another kid that's stepping up too. And apparently Kevin Clash, who, a.k.a. Elmo, used to prey on these kids, and and it really, really bothers me, because you know how involved and how many people are around, and he's like the face of Sesame Street. And he went ahead and he, I guess, retired. He left Sesame Street so that there was no extra drama. He was probably forced out. Obviously, they don't want the fact that there may be some sort of, rapist or pedophile or something like that involved in what they do. But for him to be around for 20 years and nobody knowing is really, really kind of weird, right? So I don't know how it took so long for anybody to speak up about this. The man now, he was 15 at the time. He is 24-year-old now. I don't know if he just wants a little bit of slice of the pie. But apparently everything was consensual when he was younger. They were together. Everything went together. And I'm sitting here looking at the actual document, that controls everything. United States District Court, Southern District of New York. I'm looking at the actual document right now, showing exactly what happened between Elmo and his tickle pal. His tickle pal's name is Cecil. Now, what happens is, I'm not laughing at this. I'm just laughing at how they word some of this stuff. But basically, at the time, Kevin Clash, Elmo, was an unmarried adult male living a prominent public life centered around the entertainment of toddlers, while at the same time he was, in secret, preying on teenage boys to satisfy his depraved sexual interests. And then they go on to say he was born in 1960. Relevance? I don't know. Kevin Clash, the voice of Elmo, trolled gay telephone chat line rooms to meet and have sex with underage boys. So he was trolling before it was cool, guys. So apparently he used to prey on these guys in this. I mean, which kind of makes you wonder a little bit. I mean, there may not have been enough, I guess, bait for him around, if you know what I mean. I mean, maybe it's just, people that are attracted to Sesame Street are much younger, and he was obviously after teenage boys. I would figure that in his profession, he'd have all the willing participants that he'd need to. I mean, if there were any targets, he would have many, 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 many sources to get that kind of stuff. So, I'll continue on. When Cecil, which is the victim, he was 15 years old, he called a gay chat line seeking friends because, this was why, about 10 years ago, there was no MySpace and Facebook. That shit wasn't popular. Obviously, when I needed attention and I wanted to find friends, I called up the gay hotline. Like, are you serious? Oh, and I don't know. Shut up, phone. But, it's like that right there kind of got me off guard, too. I'm not trying to defend Elmo, but a lot of this stuff just seems timed and crazy. I fucking hate Elmo. I hope he burns. But seriously, so this kid was 15 years old, and he was calling gay chat lines to seek friends. Obviously, especially back in the day, there weren't as many people coming out of the closet. There weren't as many gay, I guess, people to not only be associated with or to be under the same situations or same things that you used to deal with, because you know, a lot of gay people were actually beat down, and they didn't have, I guess, the luxury of just the comfort of being able to be out there and meet people just like you. So obviously, it's understandable that he would reach out to something like that. So he began communicating with Cecil in this gay chat room at that time. During these telephone calls, Elmo persuaded, induced, coerced, and enticed Cecil to meet him for sexual encounters. Clash groomed Cecil and gained his trust, among other things, taking him to nice dinners and giving him money. Yep, he had a sugar daddy, and he was good with his hands. That's all I'm saying, guys. Now, as wrong as this seems, you know, and I'm making fun of a fucked up situation. I apologize if I upset anybody. But I don't understand this. You know, the kid went willingly, and I understand the rules and the laws, but it wasn't like he was forced. It wasn't like he wasn't getting, you know, a quesadilla dinner out of it. It wasn't like he was doing anything like this. Why wait? Because it doesn't sound traumatic. Kid went through school, his life went on. I mean, how could he be scarred through this? He's just taking advantage of a guy that's got a lot of money, and he was obviously looking for friends too. They benefited equally. And if I remember correctly, in most states, rape and stuff like that, I think there's like a 5-year limit for that kind of stuff. But I guess just because he's underage, it's a special thing. But in all honesty, I think this is just a really, really crazy, you know, a tactic to try to gain a little bit of money. They're suing this guy for $5 million. $5 million. I'm glad he's out of there. He can't be any more harm to anyone else. His name's out in the open. He's going to be exposed for what he is, and that's a good thing. You know, I don't take lightly to that kind of stuff, even though I joked about it in this commentary, making fun of it. That's just how I am. I can't stand that. I mean, anyone that takes advantage of a 15, 16-year-old, you know, those kids are impressionable. They're gullible. They think this is real love, or they think that's what they got to do for attention, and it does. It can affect them later on in life. So I could understand if he stepped up right now for, you know, reasons that it's just now starting to affect him or something could trigger that. But, you know, what happened, and it goes on to say that on numerous occasions over a period of years, Kevin Clash engaged Cecil in sexual activity. It began when he was 15 years old. He was compliant in the sexual activity, unaware of the harm being done to him. I don't know about you, but I don't know how that could be harm. If this was going on for a couple of years, it didn't sound like a bad relationship. He was getting clothes and food and everything out of it. And he didn't mention it to anybody, knowing that what this guy does for a living and all this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like, where's the red flag? So, you know, from the law standpoint, he's a pedophile. He's got issues. He needs to be, you know, locked up, sued, whatever. But I don't believe this guy, you know, is trying to stab money from him. I don't think that's right. So let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys honestly think about this whole Elmo and pedophile and what it means to Sesame Street. And, you know, because after reading this, I'm not going to let my kid watch Sesame Street. It's just weird knowing that this empire was built on the face of a guy that actually had underage sex with boys. And it just kind of disgusts me a little bit. So yeah, that's just where I stand. I want to see if it impacts you guys. I want to ask you guys even more so, did you know this actually happened? Did you know that, you know, this was in the news? Because I thought this would blow up a lot bigger than it actually did. So I don't know. Leave it down below. And if you guys would like to see this as a more consistent thing, if you guys would like to see more news shows where I cover random stories or anything like that, be sure to make love to that like button. Again, sensitive thing to say on a video like this, but it was consensual. The like button is of age, guys, so do not be afraid. But again, I'd like to possibly turn this into a show, and I want to see what you guys think about it, so be sure to spam the hell out of that. But again, let me know what you guys think. I know it's a really, really sensitive subject. I'm very, very strong and firm about what I think about this. I don't think underage kids should be able to, you know, even consensual sex or anything like that. I don't think he was actually harmed in the doing. He was seeking out attention, got attention, and benefited from it. So I don't think he had any trauma. So it's not as bad as it was like, oh, he was forced against his will. He was locked him in his basement and, you know, fucking tickle-handed him for days. So that's not what happened. So I don't know. Another few things I want to talk to you guys about is, in fact, a SCUF gaming controller giveaway. You can use it on PC, Xbox, or PS3. All you got to do is down in the comment section below say, hey, I would like a SCUF controller, and we can get that one out to you. It'll be chosen at random sometime after Christmas. And another thing I want to do, a personal challenge for me, is I'm going to give away a $20 PSN, Steam, Xbox, 1600 Microsoft point card to anybody that can make the most awesome Pwn Star emblem in Black Ops 2. I'd like to have a really, really cool Pwn Star emblem or WMP. If you guys are unaware what WMP is, it's the clan tag that I use. It stands for With My Penis. It's basically the way that I use the that's what she said kind of things. It's like, oh my god, I was up so late last night with my penis. So if any of you guys can make a really, really funny WMP with my penis type logo or an incredible Pwn Star emblem, you guys can see my emblem on the front page of my channel. If any of you guys can do that, make a video of it, record it, and not only how to do that, but show the layers and how to make it, and you send that to me, not only can I possibly give you the $20 for winning that, but as well as I can feature it in a video showing other people how to make it. So again, that's just a fun little challenge, and hopefully you guys have a great holidays, and that's right, man. Tickle!